Have you ever wondered why your emotions have such a powerful impact on you? One moment you might feel happy, but just moments later, you can sink into sadness, anger, or even a sense of emptiness. These emotions come and go like waves, sometimes making us feel out of control and confused. But did you know that every emotion we experience is not an enemy, but a valuable signal from within ourselves? In today's video, we will explore one of the most important lessons you can learn in life: how to master your own emotions. We'll look into how emotions not only affect our mental and physical health, but can also become powerful tools that help us grow and become stronger every day. Imagine being able to control your anger, worries, or feelings of frustration. What if you could learn to face these emotions and make friends with them, rather than running away from them? You will soon realize that life becomes much easier and you become happier and more at peace each day. So, why is mastering your emotions so difficult? How can we turn negative emotions into positive energy that helps us overcome life's challenges? Stay tuned for this video, because every moment could be the turning point that helps you understand how to not just survive, but truly thrive. By the end of this video, you will discover the power of mastering your emotions and how it can lead to a more fulfilling and joyful life. So grab a seat, relax, and let's dive into the secrets that will transform the way you feel and respond to life's ups and downs. Let's start the journey of mastering your emotions. Chapter number 1. What are emotions and why are they important? Emotions are an essential part of every human's life. Every day, we experience a wide range of emotions, from the happiness we feel when achieving our goals, to the sadness we encounter when facing failure, anger when we're treated unfairly, and even moments of emptiness when we feel nothing at all. These emotions are not just simple reactions of the mind, but they profoundly impact our bodies, affecting both our mental and physical health. You might not realize it, but every emotion you experience carries its own message, a way for your body and mind to respond to the world around you. For instance, when you feel joyful, your body releases hormones like endorphins and serotonin, chemicals that relieve pain and create a sense of happiness. On the other hand, feelings of anxiety or stress trigger the release of adrenaline, preparing you to react quickly to a perceived danger. These emotions are what allow us to survive and adapt to our environment. However, the problem is that we don't always understand or control our emotions. Instead of seeing emotions as tools, we often view them as enemies. Especially negative emotions like anger, fear, or sadness. We tend to think that the fewer emotions we have, the better, and we constantly try to avoid these uncomfortable feelings. But the truth is, emotions are not our enemies. They are valuable allies that, when understood and managed properly, can empower us to grow and become stronger. Instead of suppressing or ignoring our emotions, we should learn how to embrace and use them to our advantage. For example, anger is often seen as something negative, but if channeled correctly, it can serve as a powerful motivator for change. Think about a time when you were upset about an injustice or a personal setback. That anger may have pushed you to take action, to improve yourself, or to stand up for something you care about. In this way, anger is not a destructive force, but a catalyst for progress. Similarly, feelings of sadness or fear are not signs of weakness. They are signals from your inner self that something in your life needs attention. When you feel sad, it's a reminder to reflect, heal, and reconnect with what truly matters to you. Fear, on the other hand, can serve as a protective mechanism, helping you avoid risks or dangerous situations. By understanding these emotions and learning to respond to them appropriately, you can transform them into tools for personal growth and resilience. So, why is it so important to understand and manage our emotions? Because emotions, when properly harnessed, can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. They can guide you in making better decisions, building stronger relationships, and handling life's challenges with grace and confidence. Rather than seeing emotions as obstacles, we should view them as the powerful, dynamic forces that they are, ones that, if mastered, can propel us forward into greater happiness and success. Chapter number 2: Emotions make us stronger. In today's fast-paced world, we live in a society where everything is constantly changing and evolving. Technology is advancing at a rapid pace, social relationships are becoming more complex, and work pressures seem never-ending. While we no longer face the life or death survival challenges that our ancestors did, such as hunting, foraging for food, or dealing with wild animals, the one thing that hasn't changed is that we still need emotions to help us survive and thrive in the modern world. In fact, emotions are an integral part of how we respond to our environment. They are the internal signals that guide us on when to act, when to be cautious, and when to seek help. For example, the feeling of anxiety before an important meeting is a signal that we need to prepare ourselves more thoroughly. The joy we feel after achieving a small milestone is a way to motivate ourselves to keep pushing forward. The anger we experience when treated unfairly can drive us to stand up for our rights and the rights of others. However, what's particularly noteworthy is that, while emotions help us adapt and respond to situations, managing and controlling them remains a significant challenge in the modern world. When faced with stress, anxiety, or anger, we often find ourselves overwhelmed and unsure of how to channel these emotions effectively. But the truth is, learning to master these emotions can turn them into powerful tools that enable us to navigate life's challenges with resilience and strength. For instance, think about a time when you were really angry, perhaps at work, when you felt unfairly treated by a colleague or boss. Instead of letting that anger consume you, what if you used it as fuel to drive yourself towards a solution? Perhaps you use that energy to speak up for yourself, to set better boundaries, or to find a new opportunity where you feel more valued. In moments like these, anger transforms from a destructive force into a motivator for personal growth and empowerment. In this way, emotions, while sometimes challenging to manage, are not just reactions, they are forces that, if properly understood and channeled, can make us stronger, more resilient, and more capable of facing the demands of life. Catalyst for positive change. Rather than allowing it to control you, you take charge of it, channeling that emotion into productive action. This is where the true strength lies, when we stop seeing emotions as obstacles and start viewing them as powerful tools for growth. Similarly, consider a time when you felt overwhelmed with fear, perhaps before an important life decision, like changing careers or moving to a new city. Fear in this case can either paralyze you or motivate you to prepare more carefully, to do the research, and to take calculated risks. Instead of avoiding fear, you face it head-on and use it to build the courage you need to take that next step. In this way, fear becomes not a hindrance, but a guide that ensures you make thoughtful, informed choices. What makes emotions so powerful is their ability to drive us forward, to push us to evolve and adapt in ways that reason alone cannot. While logic helps us make decisions, it's often our emotions that inspire us to take action. The key is to not let our emotions control us, but rather to take control of them, to understand their root causes, and to harness them in a way that serves our greater good. In the end, emotions do not just make us human, they make us stronger. They give us the resilience to weather life's storms, the courage to face uncertainty, and the drive to achieve our goals. So, instead of fearing or avoiding our emotions, let's embrace them as powerful allies that can lead us to greater success and personal fulfillment. Chapter number 3: The relationship between emotions and survival mechanisms. Human emotions did not arise by chance. They are the result of thousands of years of evolution, serving as natural reactions that helped our ancestors survive and thrive in the harsh environments of the wild. In ancient times, every emotion had a vital function. For example, the feeling of fear helped our ancestors recognize danger and escape threats like wild animals or natural disasters. Anger could drive them to fight to protect their territory, resources, or family. Love, happiness, and connection were essential for maintaining relationships and cooperation, critical factors for survival in early human societies. However, what's fascinating is that even though we've made remarkable advancements in technology and society, these survival instincts still profoundly influence how we perceive and react to the modern world. This is why, when we face a stressful situation, such as an important meeting, an exam, or even encountering someone we don't like, our bodies and minds often react as though we were still in the wild. For instance, when you feel anxious or tense before a major event, your body releases adrenaline, a hormone that prepares you for fight or flight. This is the same survival mechanism our ancestors used to deal with immediate threats. In modern life, while there may be no wild animal chasing us, our brains are still wired to perceive stressful situations as threats, activating the same instinctual response. This survival mechanism can be both a blessing and a curse in today's world. On one hand, it can help us remain alert and focused when facing challenges, allowing us to perform better under pressure. For example, before a big presentation or an important job interview, that rush of adrenaline might give us the energy and clarity we need to perform at our best. In such moments, the fight or flight response can serve as a tool for success. On the other hand, this primal instinct can also be detrimental when it goes unchecked. In situations where there is no actual physical danger, such as a disagreement with a colleague or stress from a busy schedule, our body still reacts as if we're under threat. The result? Unnecessary anxiety, heightened stress levels, or even panic attacks. This is when emotions, which were once life-saving, can start to feel like obstacles rather than allies. The key, then, is learning how to recognize and manage these emotional responses in modern contexts. While our survival instincts are deeply embedded in our biology, we must adapt them to today's world. Instead of letting anxiety or fear take over in non-life-threatening situations, we can train ourselves to calm down, regain control, and use those emotions as sources of motivation or clarity, rather than sources of stress. By understanding this connection between emotions and survival, we can better navigate the complexities of modern life, transforming our instinctual responses into conscious, empowering actions. Understanding this connection between emotions and survival allows us to be more aware of how our brains and bodies react to stress and challenges. In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to get overwhelmed and let emotions take control. But when we recognize that these feelings are simply ancient survival mechanisms still at work, we can step back and respond more thoughtfully. For example, let's consider the feeling of anger. In the past, anger might have been a necessary emotion for defending ourselves or our tribe. But in modern life, when we get angry in traffic or at work, it's often not a life-threatening situation. Yet, our body still reacts as if it is. When we can consciously acknowledge that the anger we feel isn't a threat to our survival, we can manage it more effectively, using it to fuel productive action rather than letting it escalate into an out-of-control emotional storm. Similarly, feelings of fear or anxiety, which once kept us safe from predators or danger, now often arise in non-threatening situations, like public speaking or taking a risk. But by recognizing these emotions for what they are, survival responses, we can shift our perspective. Instead of letting fear paralyze us, we can choose to harness that energy, using it to stay alert, prepared, and motivated to succeed. Ultimately, the challenge is not to eliminate these emotional responses, but to understand and control them. In today's world, where threats are not as tangible or immediate as they once were, we have the power to use our emotions strategically. When we do this, we transform our ancient survival instincts from automatic reactions into conscious, empowering choices. This shift allows us to lead a more balanced, effective, and fulfilling life. Chapter number 4. How to control your emotions to improve your life. Emotions are an integral part of our lives, but they are not always helpful. especially negative emotions like anger, anxiety, or sadness. They can easily dominate your life if not properly controlled. One of the most important things we can learn in life is the ability to regulate our emotions, not to let them become barriers, but instead to use them as powerful tools to help us grow and succeed. The first and most important thing is to be aware of your emotions. Understanding your emotions is not easy. Sometimes feelings of anger, anxiety, or frustration can come unexpectedly and make us feel out of control. But when we stop for a moment and ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? That is the first step to understanding and controlling our emotions. Emotions are not something we have to fight against, but rather signals from our body and mind that help us become more aware of what is happening in our lives. For example, when you feel angry, instead of letting anger control your actions and words, you can take a few minutes to take a deep breath, pause, and think about the root cause of that anger. Do you feel misunderstood? Or are you too stressed about a situation? Identifying the cause will help you gain a clearer view and deal with the problem calmly, instead of letting anger cloud your thinking. Furthermore, changing the way you perceive emotions is also an important part of controlling them. We often think of negative emotions as things that need to be completely eliminated, but in fact, they are important signals. When you feel anxious, it is your body warning you that you are not well prepared for a situation. When you feel frustrated, it can be a sign that you are not achieving your goals, and this can motivate you to try harder. Using these emotions as a motivator rather than an obstacle will help you move forward in life. A very practical example from everyday life is dealing with stress at work. Instead of thinking of stress as an enemy that needs to be avoided, you can recognize it as a sign that you are facing an important challenge. Instead of worrying and giving up, think of stress as a motivation for you to show your abilities. Feeling stressed can help you focus better, work more effectively, and achieve better results. When you realize this, you're no longer letting stress control you, but you are the one controlling it. Finally, being patient with yourself is also an important factor in controlling your emotions. Sometimes, you cannot avoid the moments when your emotions overwhelm you, but instead of blaming yourself, learn to forgive yourself and keep trying. In fact, no one is perfect, and learning to be patient with yourself when encountering negative emotions will help you grow more every day. Controlling emotions is not a skill that can be mastered overnight. It requires perseverance, self-awareness, and a willingness to change. However, when you learn to regulate your emotions, you will feel that you can face any challenge in life with more confidence and calmness. This will not only help you achieve long-term success, but also bring happiness and satisfaction in life. When you no longer let negative emotions dominate, but know how to master them to live a meaningful life. Emotions are an integral part of our lives. They are natural responses that help us adapt and survive in a world full of challenges. However, when left unchecked, emotions can become obstacles that cause us to lose our composure and easily fall into cycles of anxiety, anger, or sadness. Therefore, understanding and managing our emotions is not only key to maintaining inner peace, but also to unlocking new opportunities in life. Learning to control our emotions is not an easy task, but if we recognize that every emotion has its own value and purpose, we can turn them into powerful tools for self-growth. Rather than letting emotions control our actions and decisions, we need to be aware of their root causes and choose to respond in a positive and constructive way. This not only helps us live a happier life, but also becomes the key to achieving long-term success in all areas of life. If you found this article helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Summary Update YouTube channel.